Namaste. Welcome, beautiful souls. This is day 9 of my Tarot Advent calendar, and lovely to have you here. I want to welcome V back. She has been a member before, and it's lovely to have her back supporting the channel. And thank you to all of you who do so in the same way. It's greatly appreciated. So today, for daily inspiration, I thought I would ask for a message from the number 8. Now, this might sound a little, let me explain. In calculating numbers and working with certain tarot cards, some of you may be working with the Strength card as representing 2024, and others may be thinking that 2024 is a justice year, depending on what you have studied in the tarot and the way that you work with the tarot. And so rather than saying let's receive a message from Strength or Justice, I'm going to really try to capture all of this energy in my heart. And then I'm going to look at cards around both Justice and Strength. In my tarot tip today, I'm going to expand a little bit on this. So for the meantime, in the center, we have Tarot of the Hidden Realm, which is the deck I'm going to use for the reading. And on the outside is Mel Moline's Tabula Mundi. And this is a Crowley Thoth-inspired deck. And Mel is a master of capturing the Golden Dawn color scales, very clever with her metaphors, associations, symbols, and she brings together. So, for example, in this adjustment card, which is Major Arcana 8, she will have connections to minor 8s. She will likely have symbols from, there'll be obviously Libra symbols. It's just so clever the way she weaves it all together. And then on the right card is the Leo card, the Strength or Lust card. And, you know, there's something very deep that, I mean, both of these cards are really deep and profound and about tapping into a part of yourself that doesn't always reach the surface. And if you change the word of justice to adjustment and realize that you have a role in balancing karma, that justice doesn't always come down with a lead foot, it can make this energy much more workable. And in the same way, the Strength card or the Lust card, when it appears in a reading, it feels like there's something that I am I need to do, I'm responsible for. I like that word responsibility because it's our actions that are going to change everything, or our responses are going to change everything. And so again, this is a card that asks for deep contemplation about an inner aspect of our being. And there's something really lovely that connects both of these cards, but let's get into that in a little bit. And please be sure to let me know in your comment today which card you prefer to work with for number 8 and why. Sorry, I didn't realize I was so congested. Love that little guy. Wouldn't that be funny if they ended up right next to each other? Okay. So let's start with this notion of adjustment. And I'm looking at this as a final connection, perhaps, a final message to working with the number 8 as a potent connection to 2024. And so this Justice card looks out, it's looking at you for a response. And there is a fox hiding among the greenery, also looking out, looking at something that's capturing its attention. That's the Ace of Wands. And then we have the Two of Swords. That is asking us to make a perhaps difficult decision. Good morning, Jamie. Yes, I also love that keyword, much prefer that keyword. Okay. I'm sorry, just give me 1 second, please. I may have to cut this short today. I apologize. Okay. So what I'm picking up here is that I said this is about action and the way that we can make a difference. And if you have reviewed your card of the year reading, if you have reviewed a year ahead reading, and something doesn't seem to be quite right, have a look here at this combination of cards. This is saying perhaps you have been of two minds. Maybe you have been what's the word? Flipping and flopping and not committing to something. I feel like this Ace of Wands is saying that you have known what the path is all along. And interesting that that word path came out of my mouth, because when I think of the Suit of Wands, I really do think of Dharma and life path work, that kind of action that is deeply connected to our journey of soul. And so I think this message from Justice really is about, and you may need to review a reading and look at where, and ask yourself where you have been unwilling to commit. And this is asking us to say that maybe I deserve this, or I know this is part of who I am, and it is truly time to let that other aspect go. Now, let's look and see where the other card is, and I'm going to try to weave this all together for you. Okay. Card on the bottom of the deck is Death. And I think that supports what I was saying in that interpretation of those first few cards, that indeed it's not too late, even this year, this chronological year, to take that step to make that change. And this particular Six of Wands is weaving magic. The Six of Wands is connected through astrology to the Strength card, and below it is a Three of Pentacles. So we have a 3 and a 6, sort of these divine energies surrounding this 8. And if you were following my Top Tarot Minor series, I talked a little bit in that series. I've got other card comparison series on my channel, but contrasting and comparing the Three of Pentacles to the Eight of Pentacles, and what and how you may interpret these cards in terms of apprentice and master, and what you are doing with your life and the choices that you have made with career or occupation or lifestyle and so forth. And with these cards surrounding the Strength card, it feels like you know what it is, but you may need to dig a little deeper and even fight for what you want and how you want your life to be. Good morning, Saskia. And Saskia, Mountain Bardic Path is Jamie. She's often on Gerald's channel. I'm sure you've seen her before. So there is this aspect of, I said previously with the other card, indecisiveness. So let's take this reading all together as a message that says, let's examine where we haven't committed to what is most meaningful, purposeful to us. And then take a step in that direction. This little fox, this Ace of Wands, is saying you have that fire, that flame, that magic within, and here it is. You know, light that candle. There's something that's preventing us from this full commitment. But the reason I did this was because this energy is supported by the number 8. This energy, you know, it's like, and also that's beautiful. We have an Ace of Wands. We have an Ace of Wands with the waxing moon. So, and sitting here in this, we're still in this period of fiery Sagittarius energy. So go with this and let me know if you connect to this and what aspect of your, I'm going to use the word dharma, you may have been not fully committed to walking that path. All right. One of my favorite things with tarot is creating my own tarot spreads. And I have created a lot. You're welcome, Jamie. I've created a lot over the years, and it is it's really fun. And part of my process is to be aware of what's going on astrologically. Maybe there are also, and there's lots of, when I say that, there's other things in mind too. I might be looking more at pagan Sabbats. There may be something shining through in my awareness of Vedic astrology. And then I could be looking at geopolitical issues that are happening. So when I'm creating a spread and a question, I'm aware of my environment. And I love to build in shapes, because shapes are part of sacred geometry. And that all just is so, it makes it more meaningful the more pieces of the spread that I can connect to. So if I were creating a spread for today on December the 9th, I would also maybe be looking at the numerology. Okay, well, today is December, which is a 12 and 9 and 2024, and add those numbers together and maybe work with that as a number. But rather than creating a spread here today, I thought I'd share with you my favorite spread, one that has become my go-to spread. And I want to say that it's so familiar that I have come to a place where I am okay with just leaving it on the table and not needing to read the whole thing right away. And that is the tetractys spread. And part of my the way that I'm working with cards these days is I still cut with my left hand, and my movement is from right to left. Oh my goodness. And this 9-card spread is one that I can work with the shape of the upward facing triangle. And when I look at the mechanics of this spread and I see that I have a row of 4 on the bottom, I can work with that as a foundation. I can work with the energy of the number 4. I can work with the message from the Emperor. I can work with the bottom as a mini tetragrammaton spread, Wands, Cups, Swords, Pentacles. So I may just sit with that bottom row for a while. In the row of 3, the same sort of thing. I can look for correspondences to the number 3, a message from the Empress. I can look also, now that I have a row of 4 and a row of 3, I also have a 7 going on here. So I have the Empress sitting on top of the Emperor. I have this building block of divine feminine energy held up by strong divine masculine energy. So our powerful active self in response to our receptive self. So there's something there that I can look at the 7. And this particular spread I tend to do when a client books a reading for 45 minutes or an hour. I love to do this spread because there's so many layers. And at the center of the 3 row, the Empress row, I call this the heart of the reading. And interesting that we have hearts on the back of this card. And so sometimes I will start with the heart of the reading. And I will begin there. I have said for years that the first card in a reading is always the most important. So sometimes from here, I will go and I will reveal the first card and weave a story between these two cards. And there's all kinds of ways you can begin depending on what you are seeking. And I think one of the greatest temptations is to turn over all the cards and see what all the cards are, because you want to see that top 10th card, which is not the outcome card. It's a 10. It's a card of change, maybe corresponding to the wheel. It's also kind of this magical energy that supports, diffuses its energy down over the whole reading. Maybe it's a guiding eye, clarification on an intention. It's also a number 1. So it's whole, it's complete, it's a gift. It is pure. Perhaps it is unexplored. And everything you know about tarot and numbers and correspondences can be built into this spread. It's such a beautiful spread. And the 2 row is really fun, and you can get really deep with this. The first place, so when I started with this spread many years ago, on the journey to making it my own, I was inspired by Marie White because she has it in the back of Landscapes of the Abyss. And she calls the 2 row the angel and the devil. And sometimes it does look like that. But if you think about 2 and relationships and how we can examine relationship through different elements, sometimes the message of one of the 2s will show up here. Sometimes it will feel more like the pillars of the High Priestess. And so depending on what cards arise, and again, this could be like the first and second card in a Celtic cross, where one is up and one crosses. And so that one of these cards could feel like it supports the other. They may be looking towards each other or looking away from each other, and that's also a part of how I would pay attention here. So yeah, this is not only my favorite, but has become a go-to spread. Alrighty. So I said I was going to talk a little bit more about the number 8 in my tarot tip today. Just give me a moment. I'm going to get a document on the screen for you. Sorry, I should have done this in advance. Okay. Oh, Saskia, that is Tabula Mundi by M.M. Moline. Okay. All right, so my tarot tip for today is this. If you have never looked at a tree of life, and this aspect of tarot is intimidating, there is some beautiful understandings that can come through really simple contemplation of the paths on the tree of life. So, remember I said how there are similar correspondences between the Strength card and the Justice card. And on the tree of life, and if you look where the number 4 Sephira is, the circle on the right, and the number 5 Sephira, the big circle on the left, that line or that path that connects the 4th and the 5th Sephira is strength. It's strength. So regardless of whether it is a number 8 or a number 11, strength is one of those paths, and there's only 3 of them, that join the right side and the left side. So in that, and it also is the central path, right? It's the central horizontal line. Now, if you think about that, just in really basic correspondences within your mind, what does that tell you about strength and how fundamental it is to our balance, to our harmony, to upholding our divine masculine and divine feminine selves? It navigates this central place between the very fundamental numbers of 4 and 5. It's like it prepares us for the challenges of 5. And the reason I share this with you today is multifold. It's just, I know a lot of tarot readers think, oh yes, I'm not going to learn this, and this is only connected to the Crowley Thoth Tarot. But I want to say, no, it's not. It can bring so much more meaning to your Waite-Smith inspired decks, because if you know anything about the Waite-Smith Tarot and the history of that tarot, there are Golden Dawn correspondences built into that deck as well too. And you don't have to go searching for them all, but it can certainly deepen your understanding of some of these issues of why numbers flip and flop and bring more meaning to certain cards. And it is one of the things that I very gently go through in Tarot Foundations too, one of the classes that I teach. But I often check in with it, especially when there is a confusion in a reading. What path is that again? What numbers are we connecting here? And then you can build on those layers, understanding of the individual Sephira, understanding of the planets and so forth. So I just wanted to mention that today, if that's not something you have ever explored. All right, so I guess I'm going to go take some decongestion of some kind, and get ready for work. And I want to wish you a lovely rest of your day. And I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully feeling much better for day 10. Thank you. Good night, Saskia. And thank you, Jamie, for being here.